over the weekend. But the fact that there's going to be a meeting at Croke Park tonight with delegates from Kilmacud Crokes and Watty Graham's Glen, will we finally get a resolution on this matter?
I doubt it.
Well, certainly not a satisfactory one.
No, I don't think so. It's obviously going to be the first time, I'd imagine, that the two clubs have been in a room together. I don't even know if they've talked or had any conversations around this. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But like, all the vibes you're getting, and listen, maybe there's a potential bluff in it as well, but all the vibes you're getting from Crokes is that they're not going to play a replay. And it doesn't matter when a date is fixed, that, you know, players are gone off. Shane Walsh has gone out of the country now, and there's other different, you know, functions and events, and work obviously resumes and normal life resumes. And it looks like Crokes have moved on. They've celebrated winning All Ireland, and like, I don't think they'll be playing a replay, even if it is fixed. But with that hanging over the decision makers' heads, does that change? Like, if they do fix the replay and the title is just handed to Glen, like, it's a farcical scenario then. So I'm not sure. It's not something that's going to end anytime soon anyway. And there's going to be plenty of meetings, going to be plenty of talks, and the potential for counter appeals and different things like that. I hope it doesn't go down that road and go into the DRA where decisions have to be made and stuff like that. But I think I just can't see Crokes playing a replay. That's from everything I'm hearing.
Yeah, I'm the same. I can't see it happening either. There might always just be an asterisk over this one, even though that's probably unfair to the efforts of the players on the day. There will always be those people who say, hey, but they had 16 players on the field, or whatever. Smart, if you want to say that. Paul Mannion was on it too, but obviously he was clearly walking directly off the field. No resolution, no replay. I would say terrible ending to this saga, says Richard Hogan. I mean, would you like a replay? I'd love a replay, actually. I think it'd be brilliant because it could get quite testy.
It could get. You're guaranteed.
It will get.
If they play and, like, everyone that's supposed to be playing is available to play, it will get fairly tasty. It was tasty enough anyway, but there's bound to be a bit of needle. And that's not to say, and I don't like anything about this situation, because I think, regardless of what's in the rule book and setting precedent and things like that, I just think the GA should have come out on that Sunday night, or at the latest the Monday morning, and just stood up and said, listen, there was a mistake made. We're going to do this. We're going to order a replay, or we're going to make a decision on it, or whatever. Like, there was no big hullabaloo around, you know. We had to go and sit on the field in 1998, but it's amazing how quickly the replay was made. Do you know what I mean?
But that's because you caused such a fuss.
Yeah, yeah, but you force someone's hand, because you can see, like, a total injustice. Like, that was just ridiculous.
But you do know that there's an asterisk over that All Ireland in '98. Yeah, you accept that.
That never registers with me whatsoever, because we went out and beat Clare in a game and beat them pretty comprehensively down in Thurles the last day.
What was the score though when the referee blew it up early?
Clare were up by a goal with about 5 to play, including injury time, I think, as well. And we were.
You would have never made it up. You were at nothing.
We're after coming from 10 down, I think, that day. So what was another 3 at that stage?
I'm being a little mischievous. Sean OSullivan's driving the boot in, much like Meath in 2010. I hope all the bad luck follows them.
Now that's different.
It's the super club thing as well, though.
Yeah.
It's the perception of the super club, I think, with Crokes, that a lot of people go after them over that.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that's fair. That's fair either. The Meath thing is completely different. Again, that's another situation where the GA can clearly see this is not a goal. He's carried the ball over the line, and they should have dealt with it there and then. They didn't deal with it there and then. They should have dealt with it very quickly after. Unfortunately, they didn't, and now we're left in a situation where, like, will Louth ever win Leinster? Will they ever get a better chance to win Leinster in the history of the GA? Who knows? And you can't. I was, listening to various people maybe with connections to the Glen talking last week. Like, maybe this was their chance as well. And maybe if they don't appeal now, they've lost their chance maybe of ever winning an All-Ireland club title. So I don't know, but it's just messy, and it's going to stay going on and on and on. And Richard Hogan just asked a question there. He says, Mick, could you ask Shane where Tip were in '98? Yeah, very well said, because they didn't compete in the Munster final that year, and they were well gone by the time any trophies were being handed out.
That whole year is a blank to me. I'm not quite sure what happened. Fergus Butler says All Ireland should be won in the field, not in the courtroom or the boardroom. Do you know, like, and I'm sure you would in the past looking up articles about, you know, historical stuff to do with the GA. But if you go back like 100 years and maybe more, and just that whole first maybe 30 or 40 or 50 years of the GA, the amount of times games were results were overturned or thrown out because of what they decided afterwards based on appeals. It just seemed to be, you know, people were constantly taking the hump over something that happened towards the end of a game. Like, this was back in the era before there was even a rope at decided pitches. I remember I can't remember specifically who it was, but there was a story of one lad who was running down the field and got tackled by a supporter, but there was an appeal afterwards and the result was overturned. This sort of stuff used to be 10 a penny in the GA.
That's like that is some junior game, a clip a couple of years ago, where the umpire comes in and hits it at his shoulder, while he's umpiring. Yeah.
Do you remember that time a physio was coming on the pitch and a player went to dunt him and the player ended up on his hole?
That's right. Yeah. Jenny Mac. Yeah.
Was that in Wexford?
I'm thinking of I'm not thinking of the GA one. I'm thinking of when it happened in a rugby match before. The GA one now doesn't ring a bell now. But it is amazing, as you say, historically, when you go back through the history books, if you go back through, you know, the list of All Ireland finals that were played, there are a fair few asterisks, or a fair few was played 2 years after because of some controversy or whatever.
Or because of the World War.
Or, well, that's obviously, that's a very...
You make allowances.
Yeah, but... I just hope. I listen. I don't know if Crokes are, you know, still All Ireland club champions at the end of this. I know personally, I don't really have an asterisk beside it. I have a serious question marks behind the GA and the absence of leadership and the absence of someone standing up and saying something wrong is after happening on the biggest day of the club season, and we have done nothing about it.